Sticking to the world of video games, Phil Spencer reveals this week he talked to CNBC. He says that Xbox is losing $100 per Series X and $200 per Series S. Okay, so first off, my first reaction when I heard this is like, I need to buy a Series S because I'm like right away thinking like it's better than I even think because it's worth $200 more than this. What do you think about this statement here?
So they're losing $100 for the Series X, the more
X,
expensive.
the more expensive one, yeah.
Interesting that they're losing more money on the. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense because the other one is $100 less expensive, but it doesn't have. I don't know. It's a very smart move. I think it could backfire on them, but they did the same thing with the original Xbox, didn't they? They lost money for every console that was sold.
It was like
Trying
to the
to make it up.
dollar. Yeah, like I remember the
Okay.
360 was like you had like $20 margin. It was so crazy close.
Yeah. If it's making them money with subscriptions and with their first party games, especially with Game Pass,
Of course.
it's probably worth it,
We were in
or they wouldn't be
Discord.
doing it.
Yeah, we were in Discord, and by the way, come out, hang out with Discord. We actually had really cool discussions over there. We were talking about like, I really liked that conversation we had about like, are you wanting out of social media, and discussing like what is the perfect social media. And really, we came down to the fact that like we don't know what we want. Like I want discoverability, while others want to make sure to target like certain groups and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting conversation, nevertheless. The other thing we were talking about, we Panda, one of our younger attendees in Discord, members of Discord, brought up the fact that like, oh yeah, Xbox, blah blah blah, Game Pass, and like the fact that now Game Pass is just the selling point for Xbox, I think is a gamble that they first did, and then they've won that bet, and it's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah, well, I think they lost that bet originally last generation,
Yeah,
and then finally times caught up to their way of thinking, and it's like, yeah, digital subscription services, that is the future for at least the foreseeable future. So yeah, now they're winning that bet for sure.
yeah. Until Meta and the metaverse kicks in, then I'm ready to be hanging out with Zuckerberg in his metaverse.
As long as I have legs, damn it.
Yeah. Oh my god. He made like such a big deal out of that, like a whole presentation. Like, look, guys, I got legs now. It's like Grand Theft Auto, bro. We've all had legs. We're running around talking to each other the whole time. Like, come on. He's the worst. Second to the worst.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Now, you used to work in retail selling video games, right?
Yeah, to some extent. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have the reps come in and talk to you?
Yes. It was mostly Nintendo though.
Yeah, Nintendo was super active. Yeah. What was that
Yeah.
like? What were they telling you basically?
Um, they just mostly wanted me to wear their swag to rep
Yeah.
their
I
stuff.
love the lanyards, man.
Yeah, I honestly I wasn't high up enough in the corporate structure to be able to talk to very many of them unless I was currently on the floor working. But yeah, it's mostly, yeah, this is our new game. It is always like the sweetest old lady that you could tell isn't really a gamer, but they know how to. They went up through the sales ladder,
Yeah.
and that's what they did as a job, and they were kind of into it. But it's like, no, you got to flip the screen that way. It's like you're doing it wrong, Grandma. Here, give it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my experience. Probably not the greatest.
I when I worked in retail as well, selling video games, Nintendo was kind of just whatever. Sony was pretty aggressive, but he was like a heck of a salesman, and it was Xbox that came in. It was like, I'm an Xbox player. Let me show you what we got, and it was really pushing. And of course, lanyards for days, boys. I was getting those left and right. One of the big things that they were doing though, they were like, hey, can you really push this or that? Particular games, particular controllers. Hey, this, it's like, for an example, this wasn't around at the time, but this is the Elite controller. We actually make, $13 more on this one. So try to push that one more. And it's got this benefit over this benefit. One of the things back in the day that they were really excited about was the Xbox Series S. I think it was, no, that can't be right. It was the Xbox 360, but the digital only version. It was like this new idea. And they were really pushing like, this is going to be big. We promise you. And they made a lot more money off of it. So they were really pushing it back then. I just find I actually ended up working on the other side of that too. I ended up repping for all three companies at one point for Walmarts, and it was the most ridiculous job. My job was to go to the area Walmarts. I had certain ones I had to go in and teach the employees how to play the games that were on all the demos. So I'd go in and I'd be like, hey, this is what Crash Bandicoot looks like. Boom, 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 boom. Teach them how to play it. Tell me how the hell I was supposed to do that. Go into a business and say, by the way, corporate, the people you don't see ever, they want me to like stop your employees from working to go play video games for about 30 minutes. never went well, man. I always got pushback from the management. It's like, your boss sent me. I don't know what to tell you.
That'd be the first thing that I was thinking too, is that is if I'm working on the sales floor of for instance, Walmart for this example, my supervisor comes walking by and I'm just standing with a sales rep for
Yeah.
Nintendo playing their Wii demo display, whatever. Yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is get talked to and then probably sent home early or something.
It was such chaos, but that's a big part of it is trying to figure out like what to sell that's not the system because the companies know they're not making money on the system. But it's interesting to see that Xbox is fully like we're losing X amount, like a lot of money, and telling CNBC, who CNBC, if you guys, that's the like market watch version of NBC, and so it's obviously showing up in their market value. I mean, I think Xbox is doing quite well. I think they're trying to kind of, again, we talked about this before, feign death with all this Activision stuff going on, trying to dog it a little bit, but we'll see.